Hello everybody, my name is Shadow, and it is pretty dark in my room, but that's not the point. I'm here today to talk a little bit about Zelda. This is probably one of my favorite games of all time, next to Pokemon. Well, probably in front of Pokemon, because it's a freaking adventure game. Now, Zelda has been around for quite a while, expanding its timeline constantly, and as we've seen from Wii U releases, Zelda has been making a bigger, faster, more open-worlded games. So what's next is probably going to be a huge overworld game with a lot of spread apart things with a ton of like side quests and little hidden things that you can do. But that's not the point. Let's jump back a few years to one of the first Zelda games. Not the first, but obviously one of the first I ever played, and it's probably one of my favorites. Memories. Oh wait, we don't have a clip for that? Oh, okay. Well, to explain, I will simply put it in this way. My favorite was probably A Link to the Past. And the reason for that was the whole system of A Link to the Past was really cool, because just the jump forward and the jump back, like the whole like portal system was always really cool, and it's just you never really thought about it until you played and you got farther into the game, because it was like quite a ways in. Like you'd have to beat like the three things, beat the three temples, get the spiritual stones and everything, and then for it to happen. And it was just really cool. Like one of my favorite games of all time. And I mean, ultimately, one of my favorites. But I have to say, if nothing else, probably the Dark World was my favorite, because it's just so intricate. Like it was just so designed so well. Like everything was a reflection of the light world, and you would travel through it, and there'd be things that you'd have to complete in the light world in order to activate it in the dark world. So it was kind of like, it's kind of like a yin yang. You have to like keep them together in order to keep the balance, and it's like really cool stuff. And I'm sorry you guys can't see my face. Like, if you want to see my face, go check out another video, but just play this in the background. I don't know. But the reason why the Dark World was cool was because like there was like, once you beat the Light World, obviously there was a ton of stuff to do in the Light World, but there was more in the Dark World, because the Dark World obviously was like the last portion of the game, and you obviously had to beat the Dark World first in order to in order to beat the game. You had to beat the Dark World, and by beating the Dark World, you had to coincide with the Light World, which was like, you had to put together the pieces. But I have to say, one of the neat things of this game was that it kept like things coming at you. Like if you stopped for a while, you would get confused on certain things, and with like everything coming at you is just like really cool. And I mean, like with all that, and you could never really figure it out. But let's jump forward a little bit to another game that I played, and it was probably one of my favorites of all time. Best game ever. My favorite game of all time. Ocarina of Time. Why is this game so cool? Well, that's what I'm about to explain. The whole reason behind this game being so epic was because you just every individual piece had its own place. Like Deku Tree dying because a curse was laid on it by Ganondorf because he wanted to get the forest, the spiritual stone of the forest, which was the I can't think of the name right now, but he wanted to get the spiritual stone of the forest, and the Deku Tree refused to give it to him, and the Deku Tree was caring for the hero of time, which was Link, who was given to the Deku Tree by his dying mother, and just this big this big story. And I think one of my favorite areas in the game was probably Gerudo Desert and Gerudo Valley and everything. The Gerudos themselves are a big mystery. Everybody's always making theories about them, and nobody really has an explanation for the Gerudos. And it's why many people don't really touch on that subject, because the Gerudos are really mysterious. So when you talk about the Gerudos, everybody's like, oh, we don't know much about that. Stop that, man. So, I mean, like, everybody, like, has, like, different opinions on Ganondorf. Oh, he's good. He's trying to help his people. Oh, he's bad. He's trying to steal the Triforce. And they'll throw different theories in your face that will, like, make you, like, think about it for a moment. And I need to stop saying like so much. Oh, my God. But with that being said, another great place in the game was the Zora's Domain, and that place was amazing because of how well it was set up. But like having to dive down everywhere and actually travel underwater to get to other places like Kakiri Forest, and I just remembered that the spiritual stone of the forest is called the Kakiri Emerald. But to get to Kakiri Forest or the Zora's Waterfall and different things like that. And I mean, there's just so much that you could do in the game. Just like you didn't really have to go in one specific area. Like you could go to the forest first and get the Kakiri, the badge in the future, the forest pennant or whatever it was, and then you could go to the water one, or you could go to the fire first. It's just you just did what you did first. And I mean, during my gameplay, I always take on the fire first because that's me. I mean, I see that one as easy. So, I mean, but obviously, to get to these places, you have to travel through Hyrule Field. And square in the middle of Hyrule Field is the Lon Lon Ranch. And Lon Lon Ranch is really cool in the fact that, like, Skulltulas, melodies, cuckoo play, horseback riding in the future, obviously, just heart pieces, so much in Lon Lon Ranch. But it's a small portion of the game, and they made it so big, and it's just really, really, really cool how they did that. And in the future, you race across the field to you race the running guy to Kakiri Forest from Gerudo Desert, and there's just so many things. And I know I'm leaving out pieces of the games, but I'm just pointing out some of the coolest things that I thought were really cool in the games. But if I can find it, if and when I find it, I'll definitely point out something else to you guys, because I mean, there's just so much to the games. I'm obviously still sick, guys, but jumping forward from that a little bit further, another one that was amazing that they open worlded was Wind Waker. Now, this game was obviously really short, but it was short, but it was made to seem really long because everything was just stretched out across this vast world, and you could go almost in any direction and it would never end. And that's the way it felt in the game, and that's the way everybody wanted it to feel. So there was obviously things that many YouTubers have done on this video, like for Wind Waker, and they obviously haven't covered areas. I actually watched Game Grumps do Wind Waker all the way through, and there were portions of the map that they never completed. And no, I'm sure there's nothing in those areas. I don't know. I actually haven't fully, like, I beat the game, but I never fully completed the map myself, so I'm kind of speaking out of turn. But if I ever got the chance to replay Wind Waker and beat it, I would replay through those areas because I would want to know. But Wind Waker and Phantom Hourglass were two of the bigger games that had more of an open world feel to them because they were water. Another one that I actually never got the chance to complete because I got stuck and then I lost the game was Spirit Tracks. Now, everybody hates on Spirit Tracks, and I don't know why. It's a great game. I mean, for the most part, anyways. And other than, like, you know, it having, like, its moments where it's just really dumb, it's a great game. But while I'm on to the next subject, I think one of the coolest things in Wind Waker was some of the themes. Like the Mulgara theme. Which, by the way, is friggin' sweet in the background right here. Wind Waker Mulgara battle theme. Right there. Full force at you. You walk in, giant bug or centipede thing, Mulgara, in your face. And then they start playing this epic theme, and you're just like, okay, this is too epic for this freaking bug. And then they did it in like a colorless, like a 2-stage thing, so. And that's a freaking amazing thing. And I mean, off of that subject, let's bounce back a ways to like the second one that I've needed to cover, because I mean, I obviously missed this one. Obviously, I needed to cover Majora's Mask, because Majora's Mask is one that most people play, and they come out with a what the fuck type attitude from it because it's so confusing. A lot of people actually don't finish Majora's Mask because of how confusing it gets. And my thing is, I've played Majora's Mask and beaten it because it actually took me forever to figure out where everything was. But upon figuring out one piece, you relay what you've already remembered. Like, you go through and you talk to everybody. That's key already. And then you get pieces of the puzzles that you need. Like, you get a certain mask and you remember, oh, hey, this mask could help me out with this problem. And then you do that, but you also have to relay the time factoring because you have to play the thing to go back in time, but then you have to remember where you got specific things, unless it's like a mask or something that's important that you're going to keep. You have to remember where you got specific things, that way you can go back and get them, so that you could redo certain things ahead of time. Because if you can do specific things ahead of time, then you can get things done faster. But you have to unlock everything while understanding the entire layout of the game, and it's really confusing, which was probably one of my favorite things about the game. But they start you in Clock Town, the place called Clock Town, and It's just really cool, and I think Termina and Hyrule have like a connection type thing. Like they're two vastly different worlds, obviously, but like that's just that's like some that's a topic I'll cover another day if you guys really want me to talk about how I see that Termina and Hyrule are really alike. I'll get into it. I'll debate about it. We can have a nice long discussion about it. But I gotta say, but I mean, the music in Majora's Mask is just it's so peaceful. Like you walk into Clock Town, and it's just like peaceful. And I mean, what else is there? I mean, you sit there and you listen to it and you're just like, this is amazing. But you keep moving because you know you've got a time limit. It's on the screen. Time's ticking, bitch. And you gotta keep moving. So there's obviously enough to be said about this game. But if I had to say much more about it, I'd have to say that I love this game. It's really cool. 10 out of 10 on like just how much it was. Like there's just too much about it that you can't like deny that you love the game. And I mean, I don't really have much more to say about it because you sit down, you talk about it. But another thing, I'm gonna try to discuss this one without freaking out and starting to get into a debate about it. The Stone Tower Temple, obviously one of the more confusing temples in the game because of how how well designed it was, because it's meant to be confusing. And obviously there's a lot that I could explain about this. Like it's just some confusing stuff, and you have to sit there for like a minute and put the pieces together. And I don't have enough time in this video, obviously, to discuss about that. But that is something I would happily do in another video. Like I said, if you want me to do a Zelda theory video, leave it in the section below. I will gladly do it, because there are way too many theories I have, and I'm ready to put them in these videos just for you guys, because I don't have my phone anymore, so I can't really record games. So I am willing to do theories for you guys. Now I'm about to cover the final, I think, one out of, or the second to last one. And then I'm actually gonna cover out of these. Twilight Princess. This is a game that I don't really know too much about. I'm gonna collate this one with Skyward Sword as well, to make a two-way instead of just one. So, Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess were kind of like the same games in an essence, to an extent. Not exactly the same. But I have to say, they were made differently because Skyward Sword was kind of like a preempt to Twilight Princess, and Twilight Princess was based on Link becoming cursed and becoming this wolf and meeting Midna and the shadows and everything. And like I said, I never got too deep into Twilight Princess. I wanted to go and I wanted to play it, and I played it for a while, and I never really got too far into it. Skyward Sword was another one I played, but I didn't get too far into, so I'm kind of talking shit out my ass again. But I gotta say, their design with the birds and like the traveling and everything was really cool, because like Skyward Sword was another game that a lot of people talk shit about, but I have to say it's one of those games that you take it for what you see. If you think it's cool, that's awesome, because I thought it was cool. I think all Zelda games are pretty much cool, unless they really have no point to them. But this was one of the games, Twilight Princess was definitely one of the games that I thought was cool. Like I said, I didn't get too far into it, but I have to say it's one of those games, if I ever got the chance to go back and try to complete it, I would definitely take the time to do it. Now, I think the final one that I'm gonna have to spend a second getting so that I can explain it. Okay, here we go. Here it is, guys. I think. I could be wrong. But oh god. You're getting this refund? Yep, that's it. Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. Now, I'm covering this really old one for a reason.
Alright, we're having leftovers.
Okay.
We're having the leftovers from last night.
Yep.
We could wait for.
Yep.
For you, two for me.
Alright.
Get it?
Got it.
Alright, so give us about 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
You got it.
You can go out and hook yours up.
Okay. I'm covering this one, obviously, for a reason. Sorry for the interruption. That was my dinner call. But I'm going to have 4 to 5 minutes before I can go eat. Because I'm sick, obviously. So, my stepdad's a germaphobe. Reasons, obviously. Okay. Now, anyways, the reason why I'm covering this old one is because it's really the start of the whole franchise of Zelda. Because, really, people picked up the game and they played it, and people just fell in love with the whole adventure style game. And it's just, there's too much about it that people love this game, and I'm one of them. I gotta say, it's just too much about this. And I mean, if I had to say what I love about this game, there's too much to say about it. It's Zelda. It's the idea of exploring new places, going places, exploring, achieving new stuff, etc., etc., etc. Now, before I go into another long, boring discussion, I hope you guys hit that like button for me, and don't forget to plow the subscribe button. Really hard, by the way. If you guys want me to talk about Sonic, Pokemon, whatever, leave a comment in the section below. And if you want me to talk some theories about Zelda or Pokemon or whatever, leave a comment. I will be glad to do it. If it's something that I feel I can't do, I will sadly let you know, but I hope you enjoy listening to me talk about these. And as always, I will see all of you in the shadows and in the next video. Bye-bye!